one of the main things that makes an artist is his life experiences, right?
I think so,
What
in my
do you
opinion.
agree?
Well, I think training and life experiences, but
Good. All right. So at least in that one part, we agree. So, but I feel like they're essential. But those are things that you cannot control, that they just happen to you, and you deal with them. And after everything's all said and done, that's when you say, okay, what can I get from this? But what I've been realizing lately is that it's too much experience. I'm overloaded, and so many things happen to me. Whenever I sit down, like okay, let's work on something creative, whether it's the other project or the other project. But I can't, man. I'm so tired. I'm so tired that I was like, oh no, I need a break. I need a break from life, and I need a break from work that relies on life to be able to function.
um, the Japanese used to say that if you do things 1 minute a day, that minute will turn into other minutes. So maybe instead of trying to aim for doing like a big block of time or a lot of time, just do like 10 or 20, whatever you can, and just like focus those 10 or 20, whatever you have into like, and then little by little, 10 of those minutes a week would turn into an hour. You know what I'm saying? I
But
mean,
that's
10
what I
of those
do.
minutes every day throughout the week, it'll turn into an hour. So, like, it's funny. I had a similar question around that area. Um, do you have a recipe for like discipline, or do you kind of just whenever you have the time, you work on something?
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. Like sometimes I want to think I do. I have a to do list. Does that count like a
It
recipe?
looks like you do. It looks like you do because you do a lot of. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't have a problem with doing a lot of. My problem is when okay, so I'm doing 1 to 5, right? Let's just put it this way. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm doing 5 a day. Okay, figuratively and physically speaking, because I a lot. Like I told my wife was like, "It's like, bro, why are you going to bath?" Like she already knows me. She's like, "It's like, are you anxious?" I'm like, "Why? Why you say that?" It's like every time you get anxious, you poop a lot, and this is the third time you poop. I was like, "I am anxious." Yeah,
So you have 5 poops. You have 5 poops that you're
I'm
doing.
up to 4 today in the morning, and I mean today, and it's 4:21, so it's probably gonna pop one out like after this is done.
I feel you because I mean it's similar on my end, right? Sometimes I feel like I can't get any work done at all. Like sometimes I can't decipher overwhelmed uh from laziness or procrastination, right? Like sometimes I can't decipher those two because there's so much going on that I don't have like a very good barometer or a good meter of like how much work am I actually getting done in comparison to like am I just resting? You know what I'm saying? Because like you don't want to get diminishing returns either, you know. Um, but it's tough, man. It's tough to compartmentalize. But then again, I think that's a trick. Like in my
Yeah,
head, I think it's a trick that I tell myself to not accomplish something either, because you can get caught up in that wheel too. I think at the end of the day, you're always gonna have poop going on. Like you're never gonna get rid of poop. Never.
yeah,
Like never. I don't think I even think like I think back like sometimes like, oh man, if I didn't have this kid or whatever, whatever. But like I think that's BS because at the end of the day, like if I wanted to be doing like what I say that I'm like if I wanted to be writing, whatever, let's say in the moment I'm putting the baby to sleep or something, I'm like, man, I could be writing right now. No, if I could be writing right now, I would be writing right now. I would have been writing. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I think we sometimes get like you know how like babies have like toys and then another kid comes by and picks up the toy and they're playing with it and now like they want that toy. You know, I think sometimes with our attention, like with what we lay out to work on, sometimes like when something else comes and gets that attention or that piece of time, we want to dedicate it to something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for
Yeah.
example, sometimes whenever I'm like dealing with the kids, like I'd much rather be working on something creative, but I would have been already, I would have been working on something creative. Does that make sense? Like,
It makes sense.
so it's tough to decipher. Like, I don't know. Do you have that struggle, or like, do you have like a little recipe to how to deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but sometimes like how we call it, like ingredients get mixed.
But what is it? Like, what is that recipe?
I plan. I do a lot of planning. My day is based on planning what is happening on the day and what's happening the next day. Funny enough, what you mentioned in the beginning about the minutes, I do that. Like, for example, like I take my time to train while I'm training, or while in the process when I'm in the gym. Because all right, so in the morning, for example, like I'll give you a good example. I train my family, then I train my wife and the coworkers, or if I have a client, and then I train myself. Like I train, right? So during that span of an hour, I usually get work done in the coffee shop because it's right there next to the gym. I also do. I'm studying a language right now. I'm using Duolingo. Yeah, I sold out, but it's actually quite good. So I'm studying a language. So I take my time to study the language during there, and during those span of an hour. And in the end, it finalizes that part of the day me training and get it out there and just going to the next part of the day. All right, and that's usually my setup, right? Like I try to squeeze in whatever's closest to each other geographically, and then I'll do as much work as possible. And then I move to the next area, and I don't get out of that area until I get that work done there. And that's how I plan. That's my recipe. I just do a lot of planning and I follow that planning. So I do have a to-do list. And my to-do list, it changes every day constantly. But bro, no lie, sometimes I even put like, yo, I gotta poop. I literally put like, oh, go poop first. Because I know me, like if I had a toilet right here and I would just like get up and then just go my toilet and poop, I would have to do it because I'm pooping while I'm talking to you, but I don't have that, right? So no, I don't. I know, like it's crazy. So what I do is that I know if I go to poop, like I have to go upstairs. My kids are gonna see me, my wife is gonna see me, the nanny is gonna see me, and then they all have pronouns that they throw at me, and then I have to, deal with them. So I know it's gonna take time. So I know, like when I go poop, it's not just pooping; it's everything that comes in with pooping. You get it?
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you.